Hi everyone, it's me again, Titser Jay, and welcome to another episode of Learning. Today's video, we are going to discuss about factoring perfect square trinomial. Before that, we need to have an idea about perfect square trinomial. Let's consider this square of a binomial. Say a, the quantity a plus b squared. So to simplify this square of a binomial is equal to, meron tayong tatlong steps to follow. Let's say this is our first term and this is our second term. First step, we need to get the square of the first term, that is a squared. And then second step, so plus yan. Second step, twice the product of first and second term. So, a times b, that is ab times 2, that is 2ab. Plus, square the second term, that is b. So, square of b, that is b squared. So, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, this is what we call the perfect square trinomial. Let's consider this a minus b squared. This square of a minus b is equal to, so gamitin pa rin natin yung steps dito. Square natin yung first term, that is a squared, minus twice the product of first term and second term, so that is 2ab, plus square the second term, that is b squared. So again, a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, this is what we call the perfect square trinomial. So look at this one. Kailan natin masasabi or paano natin nasabi na yung a squared plus 2ab plus b squared ay perfect square trinomial? Una, tingnan natin yung ating first term dito. Let's say this first term, second term, and third term. Unang titingnan natin yung ating first term. Dapat perfect square yan. So, yung a squared, perfect square po yan. And, of course, second na gagawin natin, titingnan natin yung third term. Dapat perfect square pa rin siya. So, yung b squared na yan, perfect square po yan. Okay, again, yung first term sa third term, dapat perfect square. How about the middle term? Para masabi natin na perfect square trinomial yan, yung middle term natin, twice daw, twice the product of the square root of the first term and the third term. So this is 2 times the square root of a squared times square root of b squared. So 2 times square root ng a squared, that is a, square root ng b squared, that is b. So 2 times a times b, yun pa rin po yung makukuha natin, which is 2ab. So, meaning, ito ay perfect square trinomial. Again, para makuha yung middle term, twice the product of the square root of the first term and the third term. Okay, let's consider the first example. So, ang gagawin natin, ifa-factor natin yung etong x squared plus 10x plus 25. So, ang gagawin muna natin is to check if this x squared plus 10x plus 25 kung perfect square trinomial siya. So, para ma-check natin yan, kung perfect square trinomial, titingnan natin kung perfect square yung ating first term. So, perfect square siya. And then, yung third term, dapat perfect square siya. So, yung 25 ay perfect square. Again, yung x squared o yung first term natin dapat perfect square. And then, yung third term, dapat perfect square. And then, pangatlo na titingnan natin ay yung middle term. So, yung middle term, twice the product of the square root of the first term and the square root of the third term. So, square root ng x squared, that is x. Square root ng 25, that is 5. So, 5 times x, 5x times 2, that is 10x. So, yung x squared plus 10x plus 25 ay perfect square trinomial. So, ang gagawin natin dyan, ifa-factor natin. So, to factor this, kunin natin yung square root ng first term. Square root ng first term or square root ng x squared, that is x. Plus yan, ang titingnan natin ay yung sign ng ating middle term. Next, square root ng 25, that is 5. And then, lagyan natin ng square. So, this is our final answer. Square of x plus 5. Next example, x squared plus minus 12x plus 36. So, again, check natin kung perfect square trinomial ito. Dapat perfect square yung ating first term at saka third term. So, yung x squared ay perfect square, yung 36 ay perfect square. And then, our middle term, twice the product of the square root of the first term and the third term. So, square root ng x squared, that is x. Square root ng 36 ay 6. So, 6 times x, that is 6x times 2. Yun, makukuha natin ay 12x. So, to factor this, kunin natin yung square root ng ating first term, which is x. Square root ng x squared ay x. Minus. So, ang gagawin natin, kokopyahin lang natin yung sign ng ating middle term. Square root ng 36 ay 6. So, this would be our final answer. Lagyan natin yung square niya. Let's have the third example. 4x squared plus 12xy plus 9y squared. So, how to factor this expression or itong trinomial na ito? So, again, tingnan muna natin kung perfect square trinomial yan. Yung first term, dapat perfect square. 4x squared is a perfect square. And then the third term, yung 9y squared natin, ay perfect square din siya. And then, yung ating middle term, ay ang gagawin natin is twice the product of the square root of the first term and the third term. Okay? So, square root ng 4x squared, that is 2x. Square root ng 9y squared, that is 3y. So, 3y times 2x, that is 6xy. Times 2, that is 12xy. So, ito ay perfect square trinomial. So, ang gagawin natin, factor natin yan. To factor this, kunin natin yung square root ng 4x squared, that is 2x plus, kasi plus yung nandito, square root ng 9y squared, that is 3y. And then, lagyan natin yung square. And this would be our final answer. So, square of 2x plus 3y. Let's have the fourth example. So, again, check natin kung perfect square trinomial ito. Yung 16x squared minus 48x plus 36. So, yung 16x squared ay perfect square. And then, yung 36 ay perfect square. And then, check natin yung middle term. So, twice the product of the square root of the first term and the third term. Square root ng 16x squared, that is 4x. And then, ito naman ay 6. Square root ng 36 ay 6. 6 times 4x, that is 24x. Times 2, that is 48x. So, ito ay perfect square trinomial. So, to factor this, kunin natin yung square root ng ating first term. Square root ng 16x squared, that is 4x. Minus, kasi minus po yung nandito. Square root ng 36 ay 6. And then, lagyan natin ng square. And this would be our final answer. The quantity, 4x minus 6 squared. Okay, let's have the last example. 9 over 25x squared minus 3 over 5x plus 1/4. So, check natin kung perfect square trinomial ito. Dapat perfect square yung ating first term. Perfect square naman yan, 9 over 25x squared. And then the third term, dapat perfect square. Square root ng 1/4 ay 1/2. Tama? And then our middle term, twice the product of the first term and the second term. The third term, rather. So, that is 2 times 3 over 5x times 1/2. That is 3 over 5x. So, ito ay perfect square trinomial. So, to factor this, factor natin yan. Square root ng 9 over 25x squared. Square root ng 9, that is 3, over square root of 25, that is 5. Square root ng x ay x. Minus, square root ng 1, that is 1. Square root ng 4, that is 2. And then, lagyan natin ng square. And this would be our final answer. Square of 3 over 5x minus 1/2. So, if you have questions or clarifications, pwede po kayong pwede nyo i-type yung question nyo sa ating comment section. Keep safe and God bless.